Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, have a good day. In this day, we will discuss about general recruitment and tax produce. Uh, the first, I will introduce our team. That's the first is me, Andika Safani Syahdan, and then Mr. Maulidina, and the last is Sefrina Kristiana Putri. Right. The first material is a legal basis PUU number 60, year 20,000. Alright, the chapter 1 is UU number 60, and the material is taxpayer. Is the individuals or entities, including taxpayer, tax quoter, and tax collection who have tax right and obligation in accordance with the provision of tax laws and regulation. And then the institution but or burden is a people or capital that is a unit whether conducting business or not doing business, which include the limited liability companies, limited liability companies, and other ventures, cooperative, pension funds, and partnership. Association, foundation, mass organization, socio-political organization, or similar organization, institution, permanent establishment, and other forms institution. Next is entrepreneur, or in Indonesia is pengusaha, as individual or entity, the form of the business activity or work, production goods, importing goods, exporting goods, and conjunction trading business, utilizing intangible goods from outside the custom area, conducting service business, or utilizing service from outside the customs area. Right, the taxable entrepreneur or Indonesia is pengusaha nabaca is an entrepreneur who deliver taxable goods and or taxable service that are subject to tax based on the value headed tax law or Indonesia pajak pertambahan nilai PPN. Do not include the small entrepreneurs who limits are stipulated in decision of the Minister of Finance expect for small entrepreneurs who choose to be confirmed as taxable entrepreneurs. Right. The next is tax period. Is tax period of time equal to one calendar month or other period determined by the decision of the Minister of Finance at the maximum 3 calendar months. And tax year is a period of 1 year calendar unless the taxpayer uses a financed year that is not the same as calendar year. And the tax year part is tax part of one tax year. And then the tax payable is that tax that must be paid at one time, that is tax per tax year or in the tax year section according in the laws and regulation. Next is forced letter is an order to pay tax debt and collection fees according to law number 90 year 20,000. And concerning collection by forced letters, tax credit is input tax which can be credited after deducting the pre-refund of the extra tax of or after deducting the tax that have been compensated which deducted from the tax payable. Tax beneficiary is a individual or entity that is responsible for paying taxes, including a representative who exercise the right and fulfill the obligation of the taxpayer according the provision of the tax law and regulation. And chapter 2, 1 UU number 60 and year 2000 is NPWP or nomor pokok wajib pajak. NPWP is a number given to taxpayer as a means of tax administration which is used personal identification or identity of taxpayer in carrying out their tax right and obligation. And PEP is issued by the Directorate General of Taxes is a set number grouped by function or checking number, and KPP is a face code. And the last is NPUP function is NPUP used to find out the identity the actual taxpayer so that it's only given one NPUP. And the point B is facilities in the tax administration is number C is useful or maintain order tax payment and the less administration. Right? Is that for me? The next is from my mate. Thank you.
And then is NPPKP or nomor pengukuhan pengusaha kena pajak. NPPKP is a number given to entrepreneurs who meet the requirement as taxable entrepreneurs. In the context of simplifying tax administration, it is deemed necessary to use one taxpayer identity number, namely NPWP and NPPKP are the same. Directorate General of Tax Circular nomor 2 BJ09 1998 date 4 Mei 1998. And then is NPPKP function. A. Use as the identity of taxable entrepreneur. B. Useful for the administration of fulfilling the obligation of value add tax and luxury goods sales tax (PPN and PPNBM). C. Useful for tax administration supervision. Must register and have NPWP. A. Individual taxpayers who have net income in one calendar year above non-taxable income or PTKP. B. Married women who are subject to separate tax based on the separation of assets agreement. C. Every business entity, including permanent business entities that are subject to tax. D. Withholding taxpayer or tax collector. Must register and have NPPKP. A. Entrepreneurs who submit PKP above 240 million rupiah a year or submit JKP above 120 rupiah a year. B. Entrepreneurs who carry out PKP import activities or importers. C. Entrepreneurs who carry out PKP export activities or exporters. D. Large retailers, namely traders who have a sales turnover of more than 1 billion rupiah a year. Sanction don't have NPWP or NPPKP. Sanction for taxpayers who don't register, abuse, or use without the right of NPWP or PKP confirmation, which can harm the state, are punished with imprisonment for a maximum of 6 years and or a maximum fine of 4 times the amount of tax that is not or underpaid. And NPWP removal. A. Taxpayers move from one KPP to another KPP. B. Taxpayer dies. C. The inheritance has been divided. D. Entities including PUT are disbanded. E. Taxpayers are married women and don't separate assets. Letter of Notice or SPT. A letter used by the taxpayer to report the calculation and or payment of tax object and or non-tax object and or assets and obligation according to the provision of tax laws and regulations. And then SPT function. A. Payment and settlement of tax that have been carried out independently and or through withholding or collecting of other parties within one tax year or part of the tax year. B. Income which is a tax object and or not a tax object. C. Assets and liabilities. D. Payments from withholding or collector regarding the withholding or collection of individual or other corporate tax within one tax period. And then is SPT type. A. SPT Masa is a notification letter for a tax period. The deadline for reporting is the 20th of the following month. B. Annual SPT is a notification letter for a tax year. The deadline for reporting is March 31 of the following year. And tax establishment and provision, A. SKPKB, tax and repayment assessment letter, B. SKPKBT, additional tax and repayment assessment letter, C. SKPN, zero tax assessment letter, D. SKPLB, tax assessment letter overpaid.
Okay, our next material is about STP or Surat Tagihan Pajak. So STP is a letter to collect tax and or administrative section in the form of interest and or fines. The tax collection letter or STP has the same legal force as the SKP. Next is STP function. Number 1, correction of the amount of tax payable in the SPT WP or taxpayer. Number 2, means of imposing administrative sanction in the form of fines and or interest. Number 3 is tool for collecting taxes. Next is tax billing. Basic billing action is SKP-KB, SKP-KBT, STP, and SPPT. Starting with issuing a warning letter by the KPP after 7 days from the due date of payment. The expiry of the collection action is after passing a period of 10 years from the time the tax is payable or the end of the tax period, part of the tax year or tax year. Objection and appeals. Taxpayer have the right to refuse the amount of tax payable for technical reason that can be accounted for. WP or taxpayer submit a letter of objection to the Director General of Tax regarding the material or content of the stipulation, namely the amount of loss, amount of tax and withholding and collection of tax. Objection and appeals are regulated in Article 25 to Article 27 of Law Number 16/2000. Submission basis. Number 1 is SKPKB. Number 2, SKPKBT. Number 3, SKPLB. Number 4, SKPN. And for the last is withholding or collection by third parties under the tax law. Appeal decision authority. The person authorized to make decision on the submission of objection letter is the Director General of Tax. No later than 12 months giving a decision for legal certainty. Before it is decided, the WP can still submit additional reason. The content of the objection decision is acceptable, partly reject, or add the text obtained. If after 12 months there is no decision, then the application is considered acceptable SPT function. WP or taxpayer may file an appeal if the answer to the objection is not satisfactory. Appeals are only addressed to the tax court, domicile in DKI Jakarta, whose legal area is the entire territory of Indonesia. The form of the tax court established in BSP or Tax Disputes Settlement Agency. Appeal procedure. Taxpayer may file an appeal to the tax court on the decision of the objection they receive. The decision of the tax court is not a state administrative decision. Applications are submitted in writing in Indonesian with clear reason within 3 months from the receipt of the objection decision and attach a copy of the said decision letter. Filing an appeal does not delay the obligation to pay and carry out tax collection. For the sake of legal certainty and good service to taxpayer, the period given to BSP is 12 months to resolve cases. If it has not been decided after 12 months, then BSP will decide to accept the entire claim of appeal by means of a quick examination 30 days after the 12-month period has passed.